Oh, welcome back. An ICE agent fatally shooting a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis yesterday. Authorities say that she used her vehicle to try and run over federal officers during an enforcement operation. She clearly was obstructing and not listening to their orders. The Department of Homeland Security called it an act of domestic terrorism. Now, the president posted on Truth Social this: "I have just viewed the clip. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resistant." The president goes on to say that she viciously, quote, ran over the officer. I want to take a look at this video. Take a look at what went down here so that you can understand what happened when ICE agents tried to get her out of the car and stop her. They were telling her to get out and stop. The agent shoots her because she's not following an order, and she gets hit in the head and is dead. Protests broke out across the U.S. after the shooting. Several Democrats are calling this murder even before an FBI investigation can take place. Joining me now is South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, what do you think happened here? You agree this was domestic terrorism. How would you assess this? Good morning.
It was, and I would encourage folks to look at the third video that came out that shows the front of the vehicle. It appears that the ICE agent was struck by the car, and in the first video that you just showed, you can see the agent limping away after he fired shots. And so I agree with President Trump and Secretary Noem on this, that this was an act of domestic terrorism. These were, it appears to be, paid agitators. And this is what happens when you have Democrats and people on the left vilifying and dehumanizing our cops, our law enforcement, ICE agents, defunding police departments across the country, calling them Nazis and fascists. This is the result of that kind of violent rhetoric for years, and people are going to get hurt and killed. This was the fourth ramming yesterday, as Secretary Noem said of over 100 in the last few weeks. It's a very dangerous job to be a police officer, an ICE agent, to put your life on the line every day like this.
Unbelievable. I mean, we've got to look at all angles of this video. I mean, your colleagues on the left, the Democrats, are saying this is murder. That's exactly what AOC said yesterday. So we want to see this investigation play out.
Absolutely. And, you know, any of the footage that's out there, whether it's body cam or cell phone videos, all that will be part of that investigation, and I believe will be released to the public, as it should be. But we also have to make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect the officers that are protecting us. I'm deeply concerned about the rhetoric coming out of Mayor Frey and Governor Walz yesterday, inciting potentially more violence today. You looked at Governor Walz and his irresponsible and reckless comments, a call to take up arms against the federal government and a sitting president. I want to remind Governor Walz this morning that Donald Trump, President Trump, is the commander-in-chief.
The House Oversight Committee, meanwhile, is holding a hearing on the Minnesota fraud. This happened yesterday as Minnesota Congressman and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer warning that Governor Tim Walz could end up in handcuffs over his role in the alleged schemes. AG Pam Bondi also dispatching more federal prosecutors to the state to try and dig deeper into this potential misuse of federal funds. Congresswoman, what do you think went on here?
Well, number one, we learned yesterday from the witnesses that Governor Walz knew about the fraud from the very beginning when he was sworn into office, may have obstructed it in the process. And I agree. I mean, if he knew about it, obstructed it, his administration did, Keith Ellison, et cetera, they should be investigated, put in handcuffs, thrown in a jail cell if they broke the law. I'm deeply concerned about his recklessness in other ways that might be criminal, including the warning order he issued to the Minnesota National Guard to come in potentially and take up arms against the federal government and ICE agents and the President of the United States. This is a dangerous guy. I agree with Vice President Vance that he should, too, resign. This is very dangerous what he's doing right now, whether we're talking about wasteful, fraudulent taxpayer dollars and the usage thereof, or violence against police officers and ICE agents. This guy is very dangerous and needs to not be governor. He needs to step down for the safety of America and the safety of Minnesotans.
Yeah, and how is it possible that all of this took place on his watch and he knew nothing about it?
Absolutely. And the other thing, too, I want to mention is that the size of Somalia's GDP is about, I don't know, $12 to $13 billion. The amount of fraud that Governor Walz was aware of may exceed the actual economy of the country of Somalia. What we also learned yesterday, not only did Governor Walz know about the fraud, but some of this money, millions of dollars, was going to al-Shabaab, the #1 terrorist organization affiliate of al-Qaeda, have killed more Americans than any other al-Qaeda affiliate, and one of the wealthiest al-Qaeda affiliates in the world.
Unbelievable. Meanwhile, 9 House Republicans voted with all the Democrats yesterday on this discharge petition, which allows a floor vote on a bill which extends Obamacare subsidies for 3 years. The Republicans include New York's Mike Lawler and Nick LaLota, Florida's Maria Salazar, Pennsylvania's Brian Fitzpatrick, and Ohio Max Miller, and 4 others. The House will vote on this final passage later today. Congresswoman, what are your expectations here?
Well, I believe because of the way that the procedural motion went down yesterday, that it will pass. The subsidies will pass. I'll be voting against it. I don't believe in government subsidies. And I also support President Trump in what his comments were the other day about health savings accounts and fixing the healthcare system. He has great ideas. We need to implement those, give people the power back to pick their own healthcare provider, use that money in a health savings account, save tax dollars in the process. That is the way to go. Republicans have a solution, and I hope we can see this through.
Tell us what you're working on in the Oversight Committee, because you are urging the committee to investigate the immigration records of Somali Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Tell us why, what you're expecting here.
Right. I tried to subpoena yesterday and was shot down by both sides to subpoena Ilhan Omar's immigration records and that of her alleged husband, brother. The American people, and including President Trump, they're tired of do-nothing politicians, someone who allegedly violated the law, committed immigration fraud. And if we need to fix this system legislatively, this is one way to do it. Let's get to the bottom of it, find out what she did or did not do. And if there are gaps and holes in the system, fix it legislatively through the law so that it doesn't happen again.
So what are you expecting in terms of the policy changes now that you're back? We've got a funding deadline coming up on January 30th. In addition to the Affordable Care Act subsidies vote, what else should we expect? Do you think we'll see another government shutdown, or is that fading at this point?
I don't believe we'll see another government shutdown. You might see a continuing resolution for a temporary or extended period of time. We are working on passing appropriations measures. Some of those measures have had some speed bumps or road bumps, but I know that we are working very hard. It may take the president's intervention, as it has over the last year, to bring people together, but that's what he's best at.
All right, we'll leave it there and keep watching your work, Congresswoman. Thank you. Nancy Mace joining us this morning in Washington. We'll see you soon. Stay with us. We'll be right back.